The process I went through while writing these books was a long, hard road. Though I had family, we weren't very close when I was younger due to being in and out of group homes, schools, and traveling. We had settled by the time I was 18, but I felt disconnected. With few to guide me when I initially turned 18, I did my best to branch out, meeting people, making friends. I met Z back in high school. He was the younger sibling of the girlfriend of one of my close buddies. He looked to me in a way no one had before, not to my knowledge, and I looked to him similarly. I admired him, or aspects therein, despite the fact that he was several years younger than I. I had known him for several years by the time I started writing this series. From the strength of our bond, we became very close over the course of those first few years. Before I left, I had seen him much like a brother, and he felt the same about me. That's why we refer to each other in that sense still, but our relationship was far deeper and much more complex due to discovering our differing sexualities. When I came back from college, rather during college break, I found him at the library one fateful day. He was ecstatic to see me and said I should drop by the house. I followed up with this and soon we began hanging out again, like old times. It felt great at first, but things were not like old times. He had grown, I had changed. He had friends and a life of his own. He still referred to me as his brother, and likewise, but seeing him in his evolved form did things to me. I felt protective of and amused by him when we first met, but seeing how he had grown, the changes he had gone through in his path toward becoming a man, they attracted me to him. I didn't understand my feelings. Seeing him with all his friends, while giving me less attention compared to the way things used to be between us, made me burn, made me jealous. I didn't understand these feelings. Before coming back from college, I had never experienced jealousy for anyone. Our relationship became very complicated, emotionally, sexually, and developmentally. Back then, I told everyone except him how I felt, trying to come to terms with my complicated feelings. I kept it all inside and made myself suffer. So I told my friends. They tried comforting me, but only when it reached a boiling point that threatened to destroy our entire relationship did I actually tell him how I felt about him, that I loved him. But even then, he couldn't understand. It took several years and much more heartache before I was able to explain this again, to get him to better comprehend. The reason why I started writing this chronicle, what was initially and hopefully will still be by the end, called the Z-Files, was to chronicle events. But more than that, I started it to mark down all my thoughts and feelings and hopes, things that went unexpressed, things that I could never express to the guy and eventually to the other men who meant the most to me. I started writing this for Z because otherwise I might never have had the strength to tell him the truth, and I never would have moved past this. I love you, Z, Ben, and Matt, and I dedicate my first book ever written to the Z-File series to you, three men who have played such an important role in my life. I only wish you could understand. Last note. Although this material falls under many sections and is written memoir style, these experiences are intended to be plausibly deniable, thus whether you take this as fact or fiction is up to your own discretion, unless you know the author personally.